light is on. I'm Dave Van Alk, and I'm here back again, 11-1. You changed it in the bio yet? Did you change it to 11-1 yet, Anthony?
Yeah, I don't know. I try not to think about it. Like it's all on the performances rather than the record.
Yeah.
I want to be an entertainer.
Oh, we'll get into that in a second. But real quick, funny thing I think I want to kind of start this is, you get that beautiful flying knee knockout, making waves, UFC Fight Pass. Big fan of you. Been watching you now for like 4 or 5 fights in a row. And people start messaging me, people like kind of part of your team, another MMA. They're like, hey, they start messaging me like, hey, have you talked to Anthony before? I'm like, dude, I've had Anthony on 2-3 times this show. I've been with them, 4 fights ago, and I just thought it was super funny. They were like, "Oh, can you talk to?" I was like, "Nah, dude. Anthony's one of my guys." So happy, man. Appreciate you coming back on.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I love your show. I love your energy in the show.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Appreciate it. All right, let's get into it. It was a really, you get what? 3 or 5 of them maybe in a career, kind of these big, huge moments, flashy knockouts, flying knee. People are still talking about it. Like, I'm on the MMA Instagram sphere, and people that it's still rolling. So how did it feel? The interview afterwards, you said with the Genius, you kind of were trying to pinpoint that. But how did it feel to kind of get it, like to literally get it? It's on the reel now forever.
Yeah, I've been working for that for a while now. A lot of people were kind of labeling me as like the decision fighter, and I understand. Like I've won a lot of fights by decision, and I know that I can win a lot of fights by decision. But I needed that like staple. I needed something to show who I really am, to get to that next level and to the big show. And I hope that that was it. I think that was a pretty cool way to end off my local fighting career.
Okay. All right. I got a lot of stuff, man. I always have this permanent black marker. I got a lot of different stuff. We have some really good fan questions I threw out Wednesday on Fight Bananas. A fun one that I think you're going to like a lot on as well. All right. You said something. Definitely got to transition to that. Do you think that's absolutely it? Are you tired of hearing the prospect label, one of the best fighters outside of major promotion label? Are you over and done with that, for one? And then two is, the PFL just had a great show last night on ESPN. Like, we've been really kind of jumping on the PFL train. They're paying their guys really well. Some nice stuff. They had a really good challenger series here in our home state of Florida, in Orlando, a couple months ago. Bellator's paying some people. Danny Sabatello was making some waves in Hawaii this past weekend. Or are you just, hey, it is what it is. I'm a diehard guy. It started with the UFC with Matt Hughes and Tito and GSP. Are you a UFC guy, or would you, hey, anything that comes up, you're going to take it?
Yeah, the UFC has always been my goal. I want to get to that next level to get to the UFC. But I also want to feel like I'm welcome to the UFC. I don't want to feel like I'm forcing my way in there and then they're going to toss me out 2 fights later. So I'm open to getting offers from Bellator, PFL, because they've been doing great things as well. I have training partners who are with Bellator as well, and they talk great about them. So I'm open to those offers, but I feel like I'm at that point where I'm ready for the big show, whether it's the big show in Bellator or a big show in the UFC or PFL. I don't think, this is my personal opinion, other people might think different, but I don't think I'm at that level where I should be fighting locally anymore or like the regional shows. This is my career. I want to get paid. I want to move on with my career, and I think now is the time. It's probably the best time to look for offers now.
Especially, timing's everything in life, and you just had a big statement, flying knee. Like I said, the video's going everywhere. UFC Fight Pass. Furry is a really high end company. Like you said, it's time. You know what I mean? Like 11-1, 25 years young. Like it's time. And not a lot of, you said something awesome there about a career. Like not a lot of people understand that, the UFC's got this big momentum and they're the hood ornament of MMA. And I get it. Like I'm a diehard UFC guy. I don't miss it. You know what I mean? But if another organization, if Bellator's offering, I don't want to get too behind the curtain, but if they're offering $25,000 a show and $25,000 to win, $50,000 in one night, even with a bonus and so on, and the UFC might be offering 12 to 15. That's a big difference. Like, that's a big boy difference. That's a legitimate life changing difference. And that's what a lot of people, I don't think, understand about sometimes the back end of the game a little bit.
Yeah, of course. Like I have a life outside of fighting. Eventually, like I want to have my own house, build a family, all that kind of stuff. And I can't do that making pennies right on my check. So that's what I want to do. And fortunately for us fighters, we have options. It's not just the UFC that we have to go to. So, but like I said, whoever has a smile on their face and a nice big check, I'll be happy.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good. And then last time we talked, it was right. I think if I'm not wrong, it was like literally right after you started your own gym, right? You created your own gym?
Yes. Yeah. In November, I opened up my own gym.
Right. How's that going?
It's going great, especially with no restrictions anymore. It's much better. And yeah, it's busy every day, so I'm loving it.
So how, being a professional fighter and everything else you're doing, outside the game as well, but training, is the gym almost helping you? You're like, you kind of wake up in the morning, you go to the key, and you're in that atmosphere all the time, or is it almost not taken away from you training to be a better mixed martial artist? Is it just kind of, I've owned my own business when I was a younger lad. It's a life altering thing. It's consuming. You got to worry about so much ample things. You got to pay the electric bill. You got to, spot all this stuff. It's a lot on your plate. Is it taking it away, or is it, you think, adding to your game?
It's definitely adding to my game to be able to break things down to my students. I'm training with the students too. Like I'm jumping in for grappling and all that kind of stuff, and they're getting better too with me grappling with them. So it's a lot of fun. I feel like I'm getting more training having my own gym rather than before. So I'm just constantly in the martial arts world. I go to my own training, and then I go to the gym, and then I go to bed. So it's constantly MMA in my life. So
I hear that. You all consuming. So like I said, we put some fan stuff out there. I get there in a second, but this isn't a question. And then I created a question. A lot of people were putting like Canadian flags up, go Canada, all this stuff like that. And I was like, man, that's kind of funny. One of our favorite people we talk to every week on the show, Felicia Spencer, Canadian, GSP, the GOAT, but then Joe Dane just got a huge win. Murlot just got a win a week or two ago. Is it important for you to kind of keep this torch going of Canadian fighters? Is that something important to you?
Yes, yeah, we need more of it. I've been seeing it grow a lot more. Like recently, we've had a few Canadians in the last couple cards of the UFC. TJ Laramie, Jesse Ronson, all those guys. Of course, Jasmine. So yeah, it's been really cool to see the sport grow in the country, but we need more. We need more because like every UFC card, there's an American fighter. We need more Canadian fighters.
And when you need more, is it just literally more local gyms in Canada? Do you think that's the best way, or is there something you can pinpoint of? Maybe they, like you said, you need more role models. I think a Canadian fight, and I think of George St. Pierre right off the bat. You know what I mean? Is there another way? Do you think you guys are kind of like the second generation, and there's going to be 10 or 15, 20 of you, and then that will really plant the seeds for the next generation 10 years from now when we have a lot of gray hair, and then these guys will step up and take over?
Yeah, of course. I think it's definitely growing. It'll get there. It's much better than it was a couple of years ago. But yeah, we just keep going, and then it keeps like going off. Like if I have a gym, maybe the next Greek fighter is gonna be from my gym. Niagara Top Team, maybe they're gonna get some more killers in there. So yeah, it's just gonna keep going off.
Very cool. All right. Like I said, one more before we go into the fan stuff. It's really funny. Like I said, I don't know why I've been just really into what the PFL has been doing over the last kind of 6-8 months. And I kind of talked with a couple fighters, and I hear great things about this question. And then I hear like, there's no way on earth. I don't like that at all. With them having a seasonal format, they got dates on the board. It's kind of a schedule. You know who you're going to like fight, and there's a scoring system. Then there's a playoffs. Like in every other sport, baseball, basketball, football, there's a season, when you're playing, and then whatever. Sometimes in the UFC, you hear like Nate Diaz or Poirier, they say they want to fight, through social media, but they're not getting a fight. And sometimes, there's a lot of back stuff. They make a lot of money. Sometimes you can't be a co-main. They got to be a main, and they got other stuff. There's so much stuff behind the scenes. Would you like the idea of what the PFL does with a scheduled format and knowing what's up, or you kind of maybe restrains you and, don't like that and you have to fight in April? Maybe that's not your best month for whatever reason.
No, I do like it a lot. I think it's something that's new to the fans, so they're kind of not used to the format. But I do like it a lot. It's pretty cool because it stops people from avoiding to fight certain fights. Yeah, and everyone fights everyone. So I like the idea. It's pretty cool. And there's a lot of great fighters in there right now. So it's pretty cool to see.
That's actually a really good point. I never thought about it that way. There was when Masvidal and Covington fought, I think it was 2 months ago on the pay-per-view, I saw a post that both guys only have 2 top 15 wins over welterweights in their division. Like Colby's number 2 in the world and Masvidal was like number 4 at the time. And to combine only, they only got like 2 top 15 wins, alive. And it's like wild to kind of see that because, Jorge's big wins was against Askren and it was against Nate. And then Covington somehow, it's weird how some of those guys really dodge. And even Tony Ferguson, I love Tony Ferguson, one of the, all-timers and all that. But even that rise on the lightweight division, somehow, some way, like he skipped, Conor back then and Habib back then until he fought him, and Gaethje back then until he fought him, even Oliveira. And then he fought all those guys and it didn't go well for him. So it's weird how that works out. Like in the PFL, you fight who you fight. If you keep winning, you're going to fight the best guys in that year. And I kind of like that. It's bringing something to the game for sure.
Yeah, of course. I feel like it also gives you a chance to become a champion. It gives more people to become a champion because, it's all based on the points and it puts you in a certain spot in the playoffs. It gives you a better chance to win. So, yeah. Yeah.
And also with that being said too, I'm going to, put the cherry on top. Each year is a champion. Like I like how, you win that year, you win that season, you become the champion. Then next year, you're back in the division. Like you're not the reigning defended. You don't defend it every time fight in. It's like a new champion's being bred. And, with this injuries and Usman, the pound for pound guy in the world right now, but he's kind of on this, I'm going to fight once a year level. And it is what it is. So there's not a lot of welterweight champions coming. You know what I mean? Like, he fought Burns, he fought, I do like that. It's a good point. All right. Like I said, we got some good fan questions, and we'll take it from here. First one, they asked, will you ever start a podcast?
Yeah, I think it would be pretty cool. I've never thought about it, but maybe down the road, that'd be pretty cool. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next weekend's UFC pay-per-view, they said, who do you got, Oliveira or Gaethje?
I've got Oliveira winning that.
Ooh, stoppage, or you think maybe it's going 25 minutes?
I think it goes by decision. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Someone, and then you probably will know who it is, or I'll let you know afterwards. They go, who has the best mullet in the game?
Mr. Aaron Jeffrey.
Yeah. yeah, it was cool.
Of course he does.
Yeah, he slid up in there. He's like, dude, you got to ask my guy this. You got to. So I like that one. Another one, they go, what's your all-time favorite video game?
All-time favorite video game. I'm a big fan of Mario Kart. I like Mario Kart a lot.
Oh, I love when Double Dash.
Yeah.
Like 4 people can play in it. You throw mushrooms at people.
Yeah.
You wait. You got like that lightning bolt star. You wait for the last lap and you hit it and you're the big one.
Yes, exactly.
That's the jump off, dude.
Yeah.
I love that. Another one. This is a good one too. They said, when you connected with the knee, did you know that it was over?
I saw him fall over. Unfortunately, that's the game we're in, is that we have to finish the fight to the very end. And I threw that last punch. It didn't really land as well, but thankfully the ref was there to stop it. But yeah, I knew he was out. Yeah.
Very cool. And last one from the fans, they go, by July 4th, where will you be fighting?
I would like to be in the UFC. I have a contract for the UFC. But like we talked about earlier, if the offer's there, then things could change.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, I'm gonna make a phone call, man. I'm telling you, PFL, put an extra 0 on my guy, the genius. Put an extra 0 on that paycheck. Man, it was funny. Like I said, a couple people reached out to me right away. I'm happy they did. They reconnected us. Man, anytime before a fight or after the fight or anytime you have to shout out anything, you let me know. We'll get you on anytime you want. All right, brother?
For sure. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, brother. Be good. We'll talk to you soon.
All right.